Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to the Big Fun Podcast, episode 2 of season 1.
Yep.
That's right, season
Yeah,
1.
season one. Yeah. We decided we're gonna have seasons. It shouldn't actually affect anything. It just gives us more freedom to decide we're gonna have a spring break and we just want to take a break from the podcast and do other stuff. We can just call it the end of a season.
And now I just wanted to say, before we get into anything major, Hail Sithis.
Hail
You know,
Sithis, indeed. Yeah.
yes.
I don't know why, but sure.
Well,
Let's do it.
because we're talking to the listener.
Oh, it's true. Hello, listener. And just to clarify, I don't think we actually, in the formal introduction, said our names last podcast.
Oh, that is true. We're not really used to this, as you can
Yeah,
tell, probably,
we're
listener.
we are extremely novice. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm Guy.
I'm Nadav, but you can call me Dave. Some people do.
hmm So I mean, I guess we're ready. Let's start talking about some garbage.
Okay, well, Tuesday, the 6th of October, is voting, midterm elections. Okay? And I want to tell the listener, if you can vote, you should vote. I'm not
hmm
going to tell you what to vote. Just vote. Okay?
Yeah.
Because as as Miss Frenzy told us last year, when you don't vote, there isn't democracy, and then we all die.
Yes. Democracy is I don't care who you are. It could be a fucking communist, but if you look at history, you got to admit democracy is the cornerstone for science and technology that allowed the world to develop as it has.
So remember, Tuesday the 6th, vote. You should have
Just
registered
vote.
to vote already. If you
Just
haven't,
vote.
you probably still have time. Some states like to mail-in vote. That's what I'm doing for California. So I've already looked at all the propositions. I already know how I'm going to vote. I just need to get the packet, which I think I might have gotten already. And then just going to send them in. Boom.
Just do
That's
it,
me done.
people.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time.
Yep.
It reads easier than my physics textbook.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I think, people have some like really lame reasons for not voting. But I think the best one, which I've kind of considered more rational, is they don't vote because they don't believe that any of the candidates represent them. And what they say is basically, um, just because I voted for your party in the past doesn't mean I'm going to vote for you if you're not going to represent me. It's kind of showing that party, hey, send people who actually represent me.
But I don't think that works. You see, you don't have to vote along a party, right? You just find the two candidates and pick the one you like better.
Yeah, I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying
And
it's,
listen,
yeah,
even if you don't like either of them, one of them is still gonna win. So you might as
yeah.
well,
Might as well put
yeah.
put your voice into it.
The only legitimate excuse I believe in for not voting is that Tuesday is kind of an awkward time to have.
It is, but there's mail-in, so
Not every state has
not
mail-in.
every state. But okay, consider it may be awkward, but you know the date beforehand, and it's so important.
For some people, because it's not a federal holiday, they have work.
Yeah, yeah,
For some people, it
yeah.
is impossible.
But
And I
yeah,
get that.
okay, yeah.
If you
That's
can vote, though, you should.
yeah, and really, I mean, try to get out of your way because it is important. It is extremely important.
And maybe if you can drive people to voting stations, that's
Mm-hmm.
something you can do.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure there's a website. Actually, I'm sure there is a website that you literally go to, and it tells you. You give it your location, and it tells you where to go to vote. It's
Yeah.
extremely easy. Okay.
We
So
might put that link in the description
yeah,
if
we're
we
gonna do
remember.
that. Well, actually, I don't know if this podcast is gonna actually be published soon enough to be relevant.
It should be published by
Should be.
November,
It should
right?
be. Yeah. Well, anyways, do that, guys. Now, let's get on with more nerdy topics.
Okay. Well, maybe we should give a little bit of talk about Halloween.
Oh, that's true. Halloween is coming up.
Yeah, Halloween is coming up.
Yep. Honestly, um, ever since I moved from Israel to America, it is probably my favorite holiday. I mean, don't get me wrong, Thanksgiving is fine because cranberry and turkey is actually a really good combo. But Halloween is just really fun because I get to like dress up as retarded figures like Ali G and go troll some people.
As a child, Halloween was very fun. I loved Halloween. It's my favorite. As not a child, I hate Halloween because people come to my door asking for stuff, and I don't like people. So I turn off all the lights in my house and pretend that no one is home in hopes that they go
That is an
away.
extremely fair position. And I'll tell you this, what really annoys me is um I don't know if this is true of other places, but in our neighborhood, I guess not yours anymore because Nadav moved to college, but I'm enrolled in college where we lived
Before.
before. Yeah. And parents here just follow their kids around to like trick or treat, and I think that's the stupidest, lamest thing, you know? Because as a kid, I would want to wander the streets, and it's not even like particularly dangerous. Like this is a pretty safe neighborhood. Just let the kids like have their fun, you know?
Yeah, but it's America, man. It's not Israel. You know, right?
Well, yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, I would argue that America is more dangerous to
I
kids
mean,
generally.
culture wise, right? The parents in America are very different to the
Yeah,
parents in
that's
Israel.
very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
So yeah, Halloween, Dove, I get why you don't like it. I think it's okay, but it is annoying when kids go in their doors and they're like, "Oh, give me kid." I just don't like American kids in general. Some of them are fine, but hey, man, I'm not trying to be racist. It's not even a race. I'm not trying to be Americanicist. I'm just saying. All right.
Okay, but what costume? Come on, let's best costumes. Let's go.
Oh, well, I think the best I don't have one in mind right now, but the best ones are ones that are um relevant and well made. And it doesn't have to be relevant to pop culture, but just relevant to whatever they like, you know? So, say I know the new Spider-Man game has come out,
Yes.
so I could and I bet people are gonna dress as Spider-Man and take selfies.
Oh, it's probably the different suits you can play as.
Yeah, and different
Yeah.
suits. I know my little brother is gonna do that. So I think
As
that could be
as
a cool costume.
as a child, the classic was pirate.
Hmm.
I always was really into pirates. Since I can really remember,
I mean, pirates are freaking cool.
pirates are cool.
Yeah,
Pirates are fun, but they
they
are the
are.
baddies.
Yeah. Um, do you want to have the pirate talk now? Because we can with a listener.
Pirate talk.
Yeah, the obligatory pirate talk.
Okay, sure. You start us off. Actually, yesterday I watched Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. I don't know why. I just wanted to watch it for some god
Some bizarre
forsaken
reason.
reason. I didn't get through the whole film. I stopped. It's like a 2.5 hour movie.
It's really long, but I
It's
really like it. It's a
two
great
hours and
film.
23 minutes. I'm like, I didn't remember it being that long. Oh my god, no, I did not get that far. Um,
Okay,
I I got pretty tired of it.
that's fine.
I for some reason I really want to watch 2 and 3 now though.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
I think they basically get exponentially worse.
the,
Like I'm sure there's a mathematical formula function that could show it, but I mean basically one was like, holy shit, this is an accidental masterpiece, you know? And then two is like, okay, like it's Jack Sparrow's cool. It's all right, you know. And then three is like, what? Are you what? Okay, okay. I could get on with this. I guess some parts are cool. And then four It's like, why is for okay, as a child, I loved Pirates of the Caribbean. I even liked Pirates of the Caribbean 3. The child me liked it. But even as a child, I mean, Pirates of the
I don't,
Caribbean 4 was just, I mean,
what
it was
about
never meant
five?
to be. And five, do they have five? Seriously?
It's on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet, but I
Seriously?
think I
Oh
might
my
watch
God.
it. I'm gonna watch it before the
Dude,
next podcast.
we
I'm
need
gonna
to
give a
watch
movie
it and
review.
next podcast,
We talk about it.
we're gonna give you some reviews.
I don't remember 2 and 3. I don't remember what happens. All I remember is there's Squid Face guy and there's Shark Head guy, and there's part of the ship, part of the crew. That is
Part of
all I
the ship,
remember.
part of the crew.
That
Yeah,
is
and
all I
you know,
remember
and
from 2 and 3.
I think Davy Jones is actually a pretty badass villain. He gave me some nightmares.
Squid Face guy, yeah, he's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
he's pretty cool. So yeah, look forward to that next podcast. We're gonna have a Pirate of the Caribbean review session. It's gonna be nice.
I think it's 5. It might even be 6. I don't know
Which
how
one?
many there are.
Oh,
The one that they have.
uh, I don't even know. Are you gonna look it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's 5. Okay, so there isn't a
okay,
6th,
okay.
thankfully.
Well, they're working on it, guys.
Dude, oh my god. It's 2 hours and 33 minutes long. Ugh.
Holy. Yeah, I don't know, man. As I said, exponentially worse. Man, I'm not very interested in them
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah, but the first one is still really good, I think.
Okay. So last time, well, between last time and this time, we came up with an idea of a little segment we could do, which is the weekly conspiracy theory,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We did.
and I have one. Now you have to guess if I made it up or if I got this one off the internet.
All right,
Now
hit me.
what I want you to do is I want you to go to Google Images, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I want you to look up Large Hadron Collider, okay?
Okay. Okay, I know what that is.
Yeah. You know what it looks like now too,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Well, I knew before, but yeah, sure.
So my conspiracy theories is that scientists at the Large Hadron Collider are building a Stargate, okay?
It's
So that
real.
they can revive an Egyptian god.
It's real. It's a real conspiracy theory.
It is a real conspiracy theory. It is
Okay.
so stupid.
Well, I didn't even know, but I was the moment I heard it, was like Egyptian gods, check. Retarded sci-fi equivalents, check. Like people and misunderstanding science, check. People are stupid enough to come up with this shit. Okay? It's a fact.
I tried to come up with some, okay? And I wrote them down and then I looked up some real conspiracy theories and I was like, mine don't hold a candle to these.
Yeah.
Like
It's like
mine are so tame.
you cannot make these stuff up because they're so crazy.
There
You
was
know?
one about there being a second sun that NASA was hiding from us. Like I was like, what the
I'm
fuck?
pretty sure there's one that says there's a sun inside the earth and there are dinosaurs who live there. No, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. So they say that the earth was flat. Okay? And then and this is legit, okay? And then the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs. So imagine Earth is flat and it's like a piece of paper, right? So the meteor went into Earth and kind of crumpled it, okay? So Earth went in on itself, okay? And then inside there were the dinosaurs, right? And then outside is the world we know, okay? So inside the Earth there are actually dinosaurs. People, watch out. Don't dig holes that are too deep because you never know if something is going to pop up. I mean, you don't want to take the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I mean, everybody knows that the world is round. It just used to be flat. All right. So that was a nice segment. Listener, tell us if you like it. I think it's pretty all right.
Yeah, I'll try to. It won't always be a real one. Sometimes it'll be one that
Yeah.
I'll make up. Uh, but I won't tell you what the pattern will be if there is a pattern. So you'll just have to stay and find out.
Okay. Um, all right. Is there something else you wanted to talk about? I have something I want to talk about.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
So so I go to a gym where I practice Krav Maga. Okay. And they have other stuff there. They have boxing, they have like fitness, CrossFit, and they have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, BJJ. And I was like, that sounds fun because I've done judo before when I was a kid. Obviously, they're very different arts, but I was like, yeah, that sounds like something I want to try. So I went to like the fundamentals class, okay, and it was freaking hard. Like, I appreciate people who practice BJJ to a completely new extent right now because it is so tiring and so taxing and so difficult. When we were sparring, I got my freaking ass kicked, which obviously is only right for a beginner. But I don't know. It was just mind blowing.
I I did Shotokan karate or
Yeah,
Shadokan.
it's actually called
Yes.
Shadowcon. The
Yeah.
ninjas practice. Yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
I am an anime character.
Yes.
Um, but when I moved to California, I was looking for a good dojo I could continue practicing Shotokan in. And I found a couple. I didn't really like them that much. Um, so I started going into other kinds of martial arts. I did MMA for a bit, but it 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 felt different to me in the sense that when I did Shotokan karate, it was a lot. It was an art form, right? Like I think some martial arts really are art. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
stances and the movements and the flowiness. And MMA is not
Yeah.
art.
It's a
It's just
sport.
yeah, it's just a sport and it's beating people up sport.
It's
So
true.
it wasn't really for me. So then I moved into Shaolin Kung Fu, which is the opposite problem. It is too much of an art. I could not do it. It was too flowing and stuff. It didn't have the rigidness I was used to. Um, so I don't, these martial arts styles are all very different.
They are,
Um,
and I will tell you that a difference I found between judo and jujitsu. Obviously, judo is very viable, and it's known that it's viable. But I feel like jujitsu is like judo um, taken and just made that much more effective, you know? And it's the mentality is really different. I remember when I practiced judo, it was a lot more like formulated. It had a lot more, and obviously jiu-jitsu is formulated in a an art of its own. But jiu-jitsu is just it just seems a lot more focused on real real fighting, which I thought was cool.
and
And
I think you
yeah,
see that if you go to like tournaments and stuff, you'll see that jujitsu people do very well.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. And jiu-jitsu is huge in MMA. I mean, and it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. Obviously, other forms of grappling and contact martial arts. But I mean, it is huge in the MMA scene. I think I don't know much about MMA history, but I think when it started, it was mostly about strikers and striking. So stuff like kickboxing, but as it grew, I mean, people just realized how effective things like jujitsu is, and it's just taken over MMA by storm.
the meta evolved.
Yep, the meta evolved, and I think it's important to say I'm not saying that stuff like Shaolin Kung Fu and karate is bullshit. I have total respect for every martial art, and I think they're extremely cool. Um, but it's about preference and it's about what you think you want to get out of the martial art. Okay. Um, is there anything you want to talk about, or do you want me to kind of hit him with the next topic?
Yeah, hit him.
All
You
right.
know you had to do it to him.
Yep. So, I think we're gonna have this. I don't know if we're gonna have this every podcast, maybe every other podcast. I don't know, But just if you don't know, I'm kind of world building. I'm building a world that I'm gonna use for RPG and just some fun writing. It's not designed to be too professional. And I just wanted to tell you about some progress that I've been making. So I think last time I told you about the bug people, right? Did I, Nadav?
I, I I'm not sure if that was on the podcast. I
Okay.
honestly cannot remember.
Okay. Whew. Well, yeah, it's been a long week for me too. Um, bug. Okay, so basically, I decided I want to have bug people that are kind of in the jungle, and a kind of a big inspiration to make them was the Skaven from Warhammer lore. I don't know if you're familiar, but they're not gonna be like the Skaven in that they're not they don't have really um, advanced technology or anything like that, but they do have the mindset of just um, conquering as much as they can and reproducing as much as they can and being treacherous and pretty freaking disgusting. So, but I do want to keep them separate from what the Skaven are. So I've decided basically they're residing in the same jungle as Wood Elves. And dude, I don't know if I talked about this in the last podcast. If I did, I'm sorry, but just to recap, the Wood Elves, they want to preserve the jungle, which is their home, so they only eat meat. And they're pretty ruthless and disgusting on their own. They would eat each other. Basically, anything that is meat, they would eat. It rhymes even bug people. So they're battling the bug people, and I've decided that collections of bug people overground in the jungles are merely colonies of the true bug people empire. Um, and they basically have a huge underground empire. And so
Could you call it the Under Empire?
maybe that was an inspiration. It was an inspiration, yes. So that's that. Um, I'll see how it grows. Mm,
Okay.
yeah, and I don't know if I talked about um I don't know if I told you about the people of Corsair, which is an island. Um, basically they're kind of like Viking ripoffs, basically. And before they used boats to go and plunder other people, what they would do is they would make a raft, put all their equipment on it, and literally long distance swim across the sea to other lands to raid them, which I think is pretty badass. Um,
You,
so
you want to explain to the listener why these people couldn't make a boat?
yes, there's noise in the background right now.
There is a
So
doggo.
yes, there is a dog. Nadav, I'm gonna let you talk for a while.
Okay, I will. I will talk. So, as the listener might know, last time I talked about becoming a better person, and I have been thinking about that quite a bit, trying to figure out what would be good ways to go about it. And one of the things I came up with was how you treat your emotions, right? I don't think of myself as very emotional. And this isn't because I don't feel emotions. It's because I don't let myself feel these emotions. What I often do is I repress these emotions. The only emotion I really allow myself to feel so much is happiness. And oftentimes anger gets the best of me. Um, so for a short amount of time, I will get pretty frustrated, but then I will calm down and push it away. The other emotions, I immediately shove them out. And I don't think this is particularly good. I think what I'm trying to do now is to to really recognize what it is I'm feeling and not let it control me, but to understand it, accept it, and then move on from there. I think that's a lot better than what I'm currently doing. And that is one step on my
So
journey to becoming a better person.
so what so if I'm getting it right, currently you just when you have emotions you kind of push them aside.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I mean I don't consider myself particularly emotional either. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's strange because say if you tell me that um let's say I have a trip coming up, like a big trip, I'm going to like Europe and it's going to be great. I'm not going to be excited or affected by it until it actually happens. And that's not something I do intentionally. And it's not that I don't think I'll have fun. I know I'll have fun, but I just don't require it for happiness, you know? Which, I mean, if you talk historically in philosophy, um, is something that was perpetuated by the Stoics of Greece and the Buddha, you know. So I feel like there is a part of me that thinks it helps me be emotionally resilient, and I'm sure you understand that too, Nadal.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I do think it's important to listen to our emotions.
Yeah, I feel like I have been ignoring them. I believe in rational thought and logic. I don't think that I think that I'm not sure how to explain myself correctly. Um, I believe that an argument is only as valid as the logic behind it.
Hmm.
I don't think emotion really has its place so much, but I do think there is something to be learned there.
It's true, yeah, and I think it's a fact. If you look at personality types, and I'm not sure which test has, it's like, is it Myers-Briggs or something? It has like four categories.
The Myers-Briggs has four categories, but the Myers-Briggs is not particularly
I know, but just something I was thinking about. So
all
you
right.
know how there's one category that is either feeling or thinking, something like
Yes.
that. Yeah, I feel like that part of it is very true though, because I know that my mother and little brother are feeling. Okay. And I don't know this because I asked them like, hey, do this personality test, but just because it's, living with people, you kind of get who they are. And me and my older brother are thinking, okay? And it it seems that my older brother and I really get each other a lot more than we get my mother and little brother, but they get each other more too. So I thought it was pretty interesting.
That is pretty interesting. I've got one last thing to say about this, and then we'll move on. A part of my not feeling so much was that I don't get offended very easy. In fact, I hadn't been offended by anything in a very long time because I just didn't care. It didn't matter. And then recently, I think the past September, someone said something to me that did actually, hit quite deep. Um, and I did not really understand how to take it because I think what made me feel the worst was that I actually did get offended. Like I actually let them get to me. And then I had a discussion with another good friend of ours, Avinash, and he told me something that was pretty wise actually, and something I wrote down. And he said that sometimes it's good to be offended, and it put things back into perspective. And then you learn that you don't need people like that in your life, and you move on. And I thought that was pretty 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 smart thing of him to
Hmm.
say.
And I think it's when it happens to you, when you get offended, and this is for our listener too, for everyone. I know it's true for me. It's very easy to kind of to try to justify for us, like, why did I get offended? Try to find a rational reason and you can't find one and you get frustrated. Like, what really offended me? Why am I getting offended? This is annoying. I'm not used to getting offended. But I think that's a trap, because you have to accept that as a human, it is possible for you to get offended. I don't care who you are, but it's possible. And you know what? It doesn't have to be rational and it doesn't have to make sense, but you have to accept it instead of trying to find excuses. Because when you accept it, you realize, okay, it happened, and I accept that it happened. It doesn't have to have a rational reason, and it doesn't matter. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna maybe make changes. You know, reimagine my friend circle if the person who offended you was in their friend circle. But I feel like putting that in that perspective is important.
Yeah, and I apologize to the listener. That's a train going by.
Ooh,
Um,
I don't hear anything, so I think it
oh,
should be
okay.
okay.
Well, I saw little lines in the audio recording, so I think when you blow it up, it might catch. But hopefully,
Well,
it's not too much.
yeah, I can I do kind of try to clean up the audio as much as I can.
Mm. I wasn't talking that time, so you can just like cut out my
Yeah.
audio from it. And, yeah,
Okay.
it'll be fine.
Yeah. So Nadal and I were just talking about this. We were talking about how freaking good Billy Joel is as an artist. I mean,
Billy Joel is a musical god.
he
Changed my
is.
mind.
He's great. And you know what? I've only discovered him when I came to America, and my parents were playing his CD on in the car. And I was like, "Who is that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's Billy Joel." And I didn't know Billy Joel, and I was like, "Whoa!" So that like opened a new world for me. I freaking love Billy Joel, and I love his songs.
Yeah, Billy Joel is probably my favorite artist of all time. But I've found a couple more recent ones that I've been getting into
Hmm.
quite a bit.
Artists
Yeah,
or songs?
bands
Bands.
mostly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hit 'em.
but I can give songs from the bands. Yeah.
Well, just give us some maybe Cliff Notes recommendations.
Okay. Um, the Submarines. I really like the Submarines. If you want a song to start off with, I recommend something like Anymore or Submarine Symphonica.
And maybe
Both of
tell us
those.
what style they play.
I, you'll have to listen to them yourself. I can't explain it.
Okay, all right, all right.
Um, Stars, just the word Stars. They're pretty good. I like them a lot. Something like Five Ghosts. The Five Ghosts. That's a good one. Barricades. That's another good one. Those are two songs by Stars. Just explaining. Um, Another band that I quite like is Jukebox the Ghost.
Jukebox the Ghost.
Yes, Jukebox the Ghost.
It's a good name. I know a
Yeah.
band that I've like it kind of in my well, I don't think it was ever really edgy, but in in the pinnacle of my edginess, I liked a band called Rise Against. And you know what? It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I still think that they
I
got
don't think that's a guilty pleasure.
it
I
is a
am.
guilty pleasure because you know what? Like punk rock bands are kind of looked down upon by most people. They're like, it's just for edgy teens, and I don't think that's true. I think Rise Against has some solid freaking songs. Yes, they have some songs for like edgy teens, but you know what? Most of their songs are fucking great, and they don't have a single bad album.
I don't feel guilty about it. I am perfectly happy to announce that I am a fan of Rise Against.
Hmm.
I like their songs. I like the sound of punk rock.
Yeah,
I think good punk rock is really fucking good.
yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad punk rock
It's
out
true.
there.
I really enjoy just the melodies and just the rhythm. It's great. If you guys like rock, I know hip hop is mostly the popular genre, but if you like rock, give Rise Against a listen. I think they're pretty popular now. Um, just try them out. They're really good.
Yeah. Um, oh my god. When you said that's a good name, I just thought back to our band name that we came up with and
Oh
then we
my
instantly
God.
forgot. And it's like,
Yeah.
God, that was
So
the best name ever.
yeah, well, in high school, sophomore year, we um started a what it wasn't really a band, it was a joke about a band called the Beatlers. And we would how many what would we even do? How would you even define it?
It was okay, so we would sing a Beatles song, but we would at the same time beat people with hats.
Yeah,
Oh my god, it was a really
yeah,
bad joke.
yeah. We would beat people with hats.
Not like really bad, just like we would just whack
Obvious,
them,
yeah, yeah,
right? Like, yeah.
yeah. And So Nadav and I were like walking to class together, and we came up with this. So the band was we called it the Beatlers. It wasn't actually a band, as I say, but and we came up with a really really good name. We were like, holy shit, this is great. We can't wait to show it to everybody else. And then the next day, I was like, Nadav, do you remember the name we came up with? And he was like, no. Damn it, that was a really good name. And you know what? Chances are it wasn't even good.
Yeah, it honestly was probably pretty shit. But
Yeah. And speaking of forgetting stuff, I know last podcast you talked about something you wrote when you like woke up in the middle of the night.
yeah,
Yeah.
so pig wild ham on you. We mentioned this last podcast. Um, one time, I'm pretty sure this was either in I think this was middle school. Um, I had this book, this composition notebook I would keep on my bed, and I would just write stuff in, just random ideas that I would get. Um, and sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would have like a spark of inspiration. I would like write a page or two, and then I'd go back to sleep, and then in the morning I would see it and be like, oh, that's really good. I'll like put that in a Google Doc or something. But sometimes the ideas I thought that were really good when I was half asleep were not so good when I woke
Yep.
up. So one day I wake up and I just see like scrawled on a page. This was the only thing on the page. It was pig and then colon as if it was like a play and the pig was saying a line and the line was wild ham on you exclamation mark.
Yep.
And
And
I don't know why. I think the premise was that there was like a group of animal warriors or something, and the pig would shout wild ham on you as like a war cry. But it just seems so dumb. I can't believe that that's actually what I thought would be a
yeah,
good story.
and the reason I bring this up is because I do something similar, but on my phone. While I'm living life, sitting somewhere or talking to people or waking up in the middle of the night, I'd have like spark ideas of for world building, for building my world. And usually they're solid and I put them into my world. Some of my best ideas came randomly like that. But I was looking through some old notes just because I wrote a lot of notes down, but I didn't have time to actually incorporate them into the world, into like the written documents that I have. And I just saw, um, quote unquote, chocolate garden grate. I have
Is
no idea what that means.
wait, is that great as in GREAT?
Yes,
Like terrific?
yes.
Like
Chocolate,
they're
yeah, but it
great.
could be really big. It could be like a really big chocolate garden.
Huh.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I knew that I wanted some okay, so I was eating chocolate and I was like, dude, chocolate is fucking great.
I
There
fucking
should
love
be there
chocolate.
should be a war fought on chocolate in my world. So it's kind of meddling with that idea. I haven't actually implemented it yet, as of now. So I think it has something to do with that, but I don't know. Chocolate Garden Great. I mean, that's just
I fucking love chocolate. Chocolate is so
chocolate is
good.
great. And you know what? We always talk about stuff we like and things that always come up again and again, chocolate and pizza.
God. If I can't have either of them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I
Nadav is
can't have
vegan.
pizza because I'm vegan. But the thing is, even like vegan I chocolate gives me really bad acne. It's
Really?
it's I'm so bad. So
Wow.
I can't. You can tell if I've had chocolate by if my acne's acting up, because sometimes I still have it because I can't help myself because it's so good, but I really shouldn't because it's clearly having some
Yeah.
bad
Man,
reaction.
that sucks.
I know.
Yep. So guys, pizza and chocolate, if you can have them, just have them. I'm sure you know exactly what we're talking about. And
Yeah, listener, when we get big and famous, and you know, you want to send us stuff in our PO box, which we will definitely have, send us
yes.
pizza and chocolate.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not pizza. I don't know how fresh that would be. But chocolate, for sure. I know Nadav likes dark chocolate,
Oh,
right?
I love. Dark
Yeah,
chocolate.
I'm not a fan. I like milk chocolate.
The
Um,
darker, the better.
so just send us chocolate, guys. Come on. Or I guess guy or girl,
The
because we only
listener.
have one listener.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, in the dining hall downstairs, they sometimes serve like chocolate pizza, like Oreo pizza, and it like
that's.
looks like
I
I
mean,
can't even look at it.
that sounds pretty freaking good.
I don't. I just looking at it is like giving me diabetes. I I didn't understand what it was at first because it just looked like this circular bread thing with like hunks of black stuff sticking out of it.
hmm
Um, yeah, it's strange.
I think there is such a thing as too sweet for sure. You know, there's some things you eat them and it's like this. Like I feel like I'm gonna die from cardiovascular disease or diabetes just from looking at it. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just I'm not a fan.
I'm not a
If you want to buy
yeah
diabetes, sure, one diabetes here, please.
yeah type
Should
two
make that too.
diabetes over here.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the sweet flavor in general.
Mm, I I like some sweet flavor, but obviously not too sweet. I know Nadav, you're not a fan.
I am a big fan of spicy, but I've been for a long time now. I think ever since like July or even earlier, I've been working down um, how like the amount of spicy stuff I eat, and to the point where now I can eat like salad without dressing. And when I say dressing, I mean like olive oil and vinegar. I don't like salad
Yeah.
dressing is disgusting. So olive oil and vinegar. Like I'll even eat salad without that. And this is because I was having too much spicy things. It's not good. It's not that healthy to have too much. A little bit is good, but and another thing, capsaicin is really addictive. It's an
Hmm.
addiction, and I was badly addicted to that.
Oh, that's
Um,
really interesting.
yeah.
Do you mind talking about that just for a little bit? Because I gotta click away and find something.
Sure. Addiction in general, or just capsaicin?
Uh, oh, we could start talking about addiction. Well, I was just gonna say, you talked about salad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I eat salad for just about every meal, so
oh,
I'm very
so,
boring like that.
no, I mean that's well, what kind of salad do you eat? I guess is my question.
Well, I make my own. I like to start with a good spinach base. Get in some carrots. I'll have a little bit of onion, red onion, sliced red onion, but not too much because onion gives me heartburn now. I used to have like a whole spring onion a day at least, sometimes even two or three, but I think I had a bit too much, so now onion gives me heartburn. So a little bit of onion. I like to put in some cucumber. I like to put in some beans, black beans preferably, or pinto beans. Uh, if there's maybe a bit of like corn, a bit of corn could be good in there.
I mean that sounds okay. I know Nadav, we agree on a lot of
We do not
food
agree on
stuff,
beans.
but we do not agree on a lot of stuff. Like I
Yeah,
think one of them is beans, and also um well, okay, I'm gonna talk about this later because this is a shocking point. Listener, just wait for it. Okay, going back to salad. Well, I guess we are on salad. Um, Fucking American salad is disgusting. Okay, and that's a fact. I come from Israel, where obviously there is American style salad and shit like that, but the best salad in the world, and this is fact, is
tabbouleh,
Arabic. It's what?
tabbouleh. Of
I don't know what that is, but
course you do.
Arabic salad. I mean, there's just nothing better. Google it right now. I'm not gonna give you a description because I mean I don't know, but it's really freaking good and it's delicious. And American salad is disgusting. Okay, I actually wrote about this in my philosophy class. Okay, and
Dude,
this is what I was looking up. Just one second. I wrote the barren leaves of lettuce with stranded pieces of tomato and cheese, hopelessly drowning in a forbidding ocean of ranch many people call salad, just isn't my cup of tea. I think
so
that sums it up.
tabbouleh is Arabic salad. What's the
Okay.
name? Yeah.
Okay. So that, yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, fuck American salad, and fuck ranch in particular.
I do love tabbouleh, like a good tabbouleh with like a nice
Mm-hmm.
lemon dressing, but
Oh yeah.
it's you can't really just like make it,
What do you
you
mean?
know. Well, I mean, I can't really make it in the dining hall, you know.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
I
true.
have I have to work with what they give me,
Um,
so I can't
so
just
I
like
was, yeah, what I
dice
was
them.
about to say that you should anticipate, listener,
Hmm.
is Nadav here puts banana slices on burgers.
Yes. Okay. Now, of course, these aren't meat burgers because I am vegan. On a meat burger, I cannot imagine it would taste very well. The flavor combination, from what I remember meat tastes like, would be terrible. But
Yes.
on a good like bean or vegetable patty, okay, like two slices of banana on there between like the all the toppings and the bread, it adds a nice flavor to it, a good flavor. I like
Maybe,
it.
yeah, I haven't had many vegan burgers. Maybe it's true. I just when he first told me about it, I just imagined it on a meat burger, and that just sounds
No,
disgusting.
like in my head on a meat burger, not just because meat to me is disgusting, but from what I remember of meat, that would be pretty gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, going back to onions, many people are too critical of onions. Onions literally make everything better. They're
Oh,
fucking
onions
great.
are so good. Onion and
Yeah.
garlic are
Oh my God.
they are underrated.
Listener, if you do not like onion, I don't know what the heck you're doing. And garlic, I mean, I can get why people don't like garlic. It has a strong flavor, but onion is just, especially red onion, which is, by the way, the best form of onion, is just amazing.
When I say garlic, I don't mean like a whole like
Yeah, of
thing
course,
of
but
garlic,
but
just
it
like a
still
little
has a
clove.
pretty
It
strong
does,
flavor.
but like if you put it in a good dish, like if you cook it well, like it's fucking good. Or like pickled onion, not pickled onion, pickled garlic.
Mm,
Pickled garlic is pretty fucking dope.
I can believe that. Yeah, and by the way, I don't like pickles. I know you do, Nadav.
I do like pickles,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of pickles. I don't like a lot of popular stuff. I don't, okay, so I come from Israel, but I'm actually not a fan of hummus,
Which is crazy to me because
which is pretty
hummus is
crazy,
so
but I
fucking
do
good.
like trina. Like,
Wait. You mean Hamas, right?
yes, yes. I'm really not a fan of Hamas, the terrorist organization, and their hummus, but I mean, and I've had some of the allegedly best hummus in Yafo. Um, but
Yeah, hummus
I
is good.
just I don't like it. I do like trina with certain stuff.
I'm
Um,
not a huge fan of tuna, actually.
really, how do you?
Yeah,
Well, what trina do you eat?
just normal tuna.
Yeah, but I mean, you
Well,
can buy it.
I don't eat it. That's the
Okay,
point.
because
I
you can
have
buy it from the
hummus,
supermarket and it's not good. But the best trina, listener, if you're listening, just mix in like pure, like sesame seed pasting with some lemon and salt and some olive oil, and trust me, it's gonna be fucking delicious.
Okay, there's gonna be a bunch of sounds now because I'm gonna get something out of my fridge. Okay, okay. How do you like, alright, halva?
I By the way, do you hear stuff in the background from me? I know there's
No,
okay.
just because I'm rummaging through my fridge to come up with the stuff I
Yeah,
have.
okay. And by the way, listener, you can Google these as we talk about them. I have a mixed feeling about halva because, like, it's okay, but I can't get myself to actually eat large quantities of it.
No, you can't eat large quantities.
You can't. Like, it's good
No.
in like very like small moderation.
Like a spoonful. That's it.
Yeah, like some people like they're like bars of halva. I don't get that.
No. I have like a tub of it, and every now and then I take a spoon and I just.
Like, yeah, like I don't know how you could eat a lot of halva, but it can be good. Yeah,
And what about dolma? You know what dolma are?
I don't know what that is.
So dolma, you can look them up. They are stuffed grape leaves. Okay, and
Oh,
usually you put like rice in there, different vegetables, sometimes meat, and oh my god, they're so good. I love dolma so much. They
hmm,
don't look like much, but if you ever have a chance to try them, I
yep.
recommend it.
You know what? I'm Jewish, so and I mean pretty much in most Jewish holiday occasions, you would see dome on the table. They just look fucking disgusting in my opinion.
They okay, I will. They do look. I said they don't look like much. They look disgusting. but they are very good.
I have a lot of background noise. Nadav, do you mind just talking away as I close my window?
Okay, sure. I will continue to talk. I am talking. I've got to come up with something to talk about. I don't know what I'm talking about. So far, I think this podcast has gone a lot better than the last one. I think we've been a lot more natural. I think we might have said a bit fewer times. But, we're still trying. This is still only our second time doing it. We'll get better. We'll keep trying. So stick with us, listener. Hopefully we'll not say as much.
And
Right?
I'm back.
Okay, welcome back.
Yeah, and by the way, it's kind of difficult for me to come back because so last podcast, I know my voice had some like echo effect from my room, and what I'm trying right now is I literally have a blanket over my monitor that goes then over my head. Um, so I'm trying to reduce that and kind of contain my voice. I don't know if it works. I'm gonna listen back in this podcast and find out.
Now, this might seem crazy to you, but we only have like 10 minutes left of the podcast if we want to keep it to about an hour.
Yeah, I mean, this just ran a lot better than the last one, as
Yeah,
you
where
said.
has the time gone?
Mm-hmm. Um, I'm just gonna bounce some ideas off you live here for my world again.
Shoot.
Okay. So obviously, last time I stressed you, no matter how cool your world is, it's only as cool as its characters. You know, take for an instance, the world of Game of Thrones. If you take out all the cool characters, it's pretty unexceptional. I mean, obviously it has some cool stuff, but it's pretty unexceptional. It's the characters that make the world, okay? And I've talked about this last time. And going off that, I have been adding a bunch of cool characters. Some of them actually inspired by people I know in real life, which I think, if you're a world building listener, is a very good source. Just people in real life, or even I made a character about my dog. So you never know where inspiration hits you. Um, so I'm just gonna bounce this idea off you, Nadav. Um, basically, so I'm not gonna go too into depth of the background, but I could. There's just a kingdom, and there's a guy, and he was elected to be the new leader of the country. And after he won, he ordered the construction of a. It's not extremely big. It's rather, it's kind of medium-sized statue of himself, and it would be like the grandest and most beautiful statue in all of the lands. And then 2 weeks after its construction, it's gone, just off its platform. It's literally gone. And then people would say that they saw the statue hiding around the city. Obviously, the people who said that are few, and other people didn't believe them, but the idea is the statue somehow was woken into life, and I think it would be by magic. It was woken into life, and it's now hiding in the city. And I think it's pretty funny because the new leader who was elected is would go on and lead a fascist kingdom. And I think it's funny that his own statue is hiding from him.
That is interesting. How are you gonna like play that out? Like, is the leader gonna be really mad? Is he gonna like start like executing
So
people about
yeah,
this?
so I
Like,
mean, obviously the leader. By the way, I think I'm gonna give a link of my world at the description. If you want to look him up, his name is Cecilere Andre. Okay, and the statue was nicknamed Absent Andre because well, it's gone. Um, but how do you mean how am I gonna play it out? Like how does he react?
yeah, and also like, have you ever read like Mary Shelley's original Frankenstein?
Mm-hmm.
So is the statue gonna be a bit like Frankenstein? Because that's immediately how I
Well, okay,
sort of
so the
imagined
statue,
the character.
no one can find it. I mean, some people say it's kind of like Bigfoot. Some people say, um,
I see.
like I didn't done seen it in the street corner.
I didn't see it already.
I seen it in the street corner. It was hiding from us, and then this next second, it was gone. It just ran away. So it's not commonly accepted that it's hiding, but that's the truth. And so I think my boy Cecil Andre would definitely not be happy, and he would lead an investigation that killed many innocent people, but in the end, he didn't actually know who did it. He told his people that he caught who did it, but he has no idea.
Okay, but is the statue like actually walking around, or has it just
So
been taken?
so here's the thing, right? Um, I think something bringing it back to kind of Game of Thrones. There are a lot of tales in Game of Thrones, you know, and not
Mm-hmm.
much to actually show for them, you know. Like there's like the tale of you know the Iron Islands,
I
like
do. Yeah.
their god and how fire
The
was
the drowned
created when
god. Yeah.
I don't know that much about Game of Thrones by the way, but I know that he like tricked a god to like strike wood with lightning and so fire was created, something like that. And I think it's extremely interesting to kind of hide, well, not hide, but have these myths in your world. And just every once in a while, some myth that is just so unbelievable is actually true. And that makes you think, what about all the other stuff? You know, and I think Game of Thrones does that really well, where, you know, people say some ridiculous stuff, but some of that stuff may actually be true. Some of it may be completely fake. So I think the statue is one of them, and it is actually true.
Okay, because if that is the case, I imagine you can have like a couple of like comedic episodes with the statue, or perhaps from the statue's point of view.
hmm Yeah, that sounds like something that could be cool. Um,
Yes,
and I know Nadav, you're studying German,
I am.
um, which
Ich
is
studiere Deutsch.
which is very cool. I mean, German is a cool language. Um,
My dad tells me that when my sister and I were children, we thought it was the language of the devil. I don't remember thinking this, but that's what he
well, I
says.
mean, to be fair, if you look at it, I don't think it actually sounds as horrible as people make it out to sound. But the way it's written, you would think it would sound really bad.
I
And you know what? That's actually the reason. So I was like, there are so many K's where they're not needed, so many other letters, so many V's. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna base my dwarf language on German. So
hmm,
that's what I'm gonna do.
thing is V in German is actually foul.
I know. I mean, I'm gonna
Yeah.
change it around, but I think um, I'm gonna make it kind of sound more like it reads. But I think it's a good base to start from. I don't know. It seems very rigid and dwarfish. If that makes sense.
The best letter in German is Upsilon.
I,
It's
I
the
think you mean
character
epsilon,
Y.
but
No, Upsilon. Like
oh,
oops. Like I didn't mean to
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Like Upsilon. Yeah, that's so
That's
so
funny.
typical, right? The word typical
Mm-hmm.
in in German it's typisch.
Tupish. Hmm.
Typisch. Yeah. T Y
Interesting.
P I S C H.
And
Typisch.
listener, if you're German, you have a cool language.
I'm sorry for butchering your language so badly.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very. We're not saying it's bad or anything. It's very
No,
cool.
it's very interesting. I really enjoy learning it.
Yeah.
I want to go to Germany or Switzerland.
Yeah,
So,
you know, in Germany they actually offer free tuition for students
yeah.
because the average age of people has been going up, which is a problem.
Yeah. Wait, did I tell you this?
My father told me this.
Oh, okay, because I feel like we had this conversation before
I
too.
think we did have this
Yeah.
conversation, and it's just kind of crazy. So,
They
people, if you
they they
know,
want young people, young
hmm
professional people to come
yeah,
in. Yeah.
and they hope they're gonna stay there, which is actually pretty reasonable. Because once you start studying there, you could get an internship there, and so on and so forth. So, listener, if you're looking for a college and you happen to know German, I'm just saying, maybe consider Germany.
Yeah, or perhaps grad school, there's a lot of good grad opportunities in Germany. And Switzerland. Switzerland is similar situation,
Yep,
and they also
it's
speak
true.
German.
Yep. So I think in my recording time, it's gonna be a little off because of the syncing thing we do to sync up our audio, but
It's
we
only a few
just
seconds. We should
yeah we
probably
just went
start
over
wrapping
one
up.
hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you
Wait,
want
we should
let's
do a this week this
Yeah,
week we learned.
yeah, I was about to say.
Would you like to start this time? I started last time.
Well, I'm trying to think what I learned this week. Oh yeah, well, it's not a natural fact, but um, my fucking chem lecture teacher sucks. All right, she keeps holding us like after class, even though I need to get to my next class in the next 15 minutes. She gives us pop quizzes, which she quote unquote announces after she holds us in class, but I had to leave, so I didn't know there was a quiz. She doesn't give us our grades, and she doesn't exactly lecture or teach. So I'm salty. I'm very salty. It's not a fact, but I just didn't have one. Nadav, what about you?
Yeah, good old chem teachers, am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this week I learned something that kind of made my head spin a bit. I'm not going to go too far into it because it's not something I particularly understand. It's quantum mechanics, and the math to get this is beyond me. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but you know how physics is about the physical world, it's understanding how things work, and it's all about real stuff, right?
Yes.
So Schrodinger has equations, right? They're equations for waves, and they show you where a particle. They show you the probability of a particle being in some place.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like electron orbitals, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
probability.
Yeah, I know about that stuff.
Yeah, so it's that. So there's two equations that I know of, right? There's the non-relativistic time-independent Schrodinger equation, and there's the non-relativistic time-dependent Schrodinger equation. And that's the one I want to talk about. Because for whatever reason, I don't know, because the math is beyond me. Come back in like a year and a half or so, and maybe I'll be able to figure it out. The time-dependent Schrodinger equation has I in it. As in the number I, the imaginary number,
What?
the square root of -1. Yes,
That is
it has
very
I
strange.
in it. The
Wow.
other parts are, like mass, momentum,
Yeah.
energy, all
But why
these
is
things.
what is I doing in there is the
I
question.
don't know, but if you do it, it works out. It still falls out a
That is
proper
very
answer.
strange.
And it's crazy to me, because how can you have an imaginary number in a
Yeah.
physical equation?
Yeah, quantum stuff is basically magic.
It is magic.
Yeah, listener, if you do quantum stuff or you know about that stuff, you know what we're talking about. It's freaking magic.
It doesn't make any sense, but I love it. I
No.
love it so much.
I'm trying to think. I just had an idea of one thing that I did learn beyond me bitching about my chem teacher. Um, hmm, I don't know. I can't remember it.
All
I
right, well,
did
I
remember
guess.
it, but I didn't want to stop you. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh
I
yeah.
think.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
go.
So you were talking about quantum physics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, in my philosophy class, um, he showed us a video about a guy who's doing research about consciousness and the nature of consciousness, and he has an hypothesis and actually some very solid evidence, in my opinion, that consciousness is a result of uh, basic. I'm not going to go into it, but I am going to give you a link in the description if you want to check it out. It's very interesting. Um, he attributes subjectivity and consciousness to quantum mechanics and interactions in our brains, which is um, a big claim, but it's also really cool. Um, and just, I guess, bonus fact, he talked about there's a theory, which obviously I don't know how true these are, but there was a scientist who thought that consciousness is an attribute that is natural to the universe. So just like mass and um, things like that. So he made an equation to calculate the consciousness of anything. So so you could calculate the consciousness of us. You could calculate the consciousness of your chem lecture teacher and even of your pencil and the hydrogen atom. I just thought it was interesting. Gonna leave a link
Yeah,
again.
that is interesting philosophy, because how can you quantize
Exactly.
consciousness?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have an episode where we dedicate to quantum mechanics,
Uh-huh.
and the philosophy of quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
Listener, not the math. Don't worry, we're not gonna go into the math of quantum
Hell
mechanics.
no.
Just the philosophy of quantum
Yep.
mechanics.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to say from my philosophy class. It's a really good class.
Yeah, I've got some stuff I want to say too,
Yep.
but
All
not
right,
from
let's
philosophy yet.
let's wrap
All right.
up the podcast. This one was a lot better and went by very quickly.
We're just going to get better and better.
Yep. So, listener, thank you for listening. Um, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. I can't tell you how much it helps because I don't know. That's the joke I made last time.
Yeah,
But
smash
it's
that subscribe button,
smash that
hit
subscribe
that
button,
bell,
hit that
leave a
bell,
comment, share with
leave
all
a
your
comment. But
friends.
in all seriousness, no. Sharing it with your friends will help us tremendously.
Yeah, that actually does. We do know
Yes,
that works because that,
we do
yeah.
know that's gonna work. And you know what? Leave a comment. We're gonna 100% read it, just because we have such a small audience of one person. There's no reason
Yeah,
not to read it. And you know
and
what?
shout you out to
Yeah, we're gonna
yourself.
shout you out or your business or whatever, and tell us if there's anything you want us to talk about.
We'll try to
Yep.
talk about it. We might not have much to say.
Yeah. So let's see. Like, subscribe, comment, just do all that stuff. We should be here every week, so expect that. I think that's about it. Any
All right,
closing
closing off.
sentence? Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.